Chapter 22, Back to School. Surprisingly enough, Pleasantville recovered pretty quickly from the flood. A few months passed, and then school was back in and Belle was looking forward to it. Tuesdays and Thursdays at uni, 3 days chilling with you guys. Belle walked to school with the rest of the group, minus Daniel, who is now working at the local timber mill. Well, I'm glad you're excited, TJ deadpan. He hated school with a passion and was looking forward to being able to leave and join the police force with his father. We're in the same roll call class too. Sunny took Belle's arm. Belle gave her a friendly bump with her hip. The two were almost like sisters nowadays, with Sunny staying over most nights. I know, Charlie is with us too. Belle looked up at her best friend. He put his arm around her and squeezed her tightly. It turned out that the three of them had several classes together. They all shared maths and English. Belle and Charlie had business principles together, and Belle and Sunny had music. Charlie and Sunny shared the rest of their classes, which were woodworking, metalworking, and technical drawing. Oh, I can't wait for my first day of uni tomorrow. A few of the guys in legal studies were giving me heaps over it, Belle said over lunch. Oh, it must be so exciting. You're going to be a uni student. Petunia smiled. Well, it's going to be a huge responsibility, though, TJ pointed out. Belle can handle it, no problem. She's awesome. Charlie grinned. Belle beamed. There was no higher praise than what came from Charlie in her eyes. The rest of the day passed in a blur, and soon Belle was standing at the entrance of the university on a warm Tuesday morning. Nerves overtook her as she walked in. Her hands were trembling as she tried to figure out which building her lecture was supposed to be in. Hey there, you look a little lost, she heard a voice behind her. She turned around to see a man smiling down on her. Belle silently cursed her short stature and smiled back. Yeah, I'm a little lost. I was supposed to be an introduction to criminal law in about 15 minutes. She blushed slightly. He laughed. Don't worry, I know where that is. I took it last year. Come with me, you're not too far off where you need to be. He led her to a tall building that Belle had passed about 4 times and took her inside. He was very handsome, with wild green eyes and jet black hair. Belle couldn't help but stare a little. And here you are. He showed her a lecture theatre where people were already sitting inside. Thanks, Belle grinned with relief. No problem. You look a little young to be a uni student, though, he smiled back. Yeah, I'm doing it part-time while I'm in year 12, Belle explained. Well then, you'll probably see a lot of me around. My name is Webster. He held out his right hand. I'm Belle. Belle shook it. Well, look, I've got to go, but if you want to go to the rec hall at lunchtime, you can sit with my girlfriend and I, Webster offered. That sounds great, thank you. Belle felt a lot better. She sat down and pulled out the new tablet her father had bought her just for her uni work. She turned it on and attached the keyboard that her uncle had bought her to go with it. She also flicked open her notepad and pulled out her new pens. A few other students had their textbooks open, so Belle got hers out too. She'd read a few of them already, she'd been so excited. The lecture was interesting too. Belle jotted down as much as she could without getting lost. She thought of her father and what he did. It felt good that she was getting the tools she needed to really make a difference. Afterwards, she headed to the rec hall to get something to eat. Her next lecture wasn't until after lunch, and she was grateful to have a bit of a break. She saw Webster sitting with the most beautiful woman Belle had ever laid eyes on, with chestnut hair and blue eyes. He noticed her and waved for her to sit with them. Hi, Belle. This is Maddie, my lovely lady. He grinned at the woman cheekily. She smiled back and shook hands with Belle. Don't listen to a word this man says. He's more trouble than he's worth, Maddie chuckled, poking her boyfriend's ribs. So you're a new part-timer, huh? Yeah, I want to go into criminal law eventually. Belle sat down, stomach rumbling. She was thrilled with her choice of food here and had neatly stacked her plate with roast meat and veggies. Excellent. Do you have family in law or something? Webster asked. My grandfather was a prosecutor in Vegas. My dad's a prosecutor too, Peter Masters, Belle said with a huge swelling of pride. Maddie and Webster looked at each other. You are Peter's daughter? Maddie gasped. Wow. Belle blushed slightly. Why did you leave Vegas? She asked Webster. He looked uncomfortable. Maddie sighed. Tate, she replied. Tate? Belle asked. Look, I'm not originally from Bris Vegas. I moved there to live with my grandfather about 10 years ago. And it was all right for the first few years until I met Tate. She started following me around. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was like having a little sister. Webster pushed his meat around the plate. But when I told her I was coming here to study law, she got really upset. Oh. Belle felt awkward. Oh, look, it's okay. Look, I do love Tate, just not in the way she wants me to. Webster put his arm around Maddie. Tate sounds like a bit of a pain, Belle ventured. Look, she's not really. If it wasn't for her encouragement, I wouldn't have even gotten into law. I would have just gotten the first job I could, Webster said. She's just... it's complicated. Belle understood. Tate wanted to be with Webster, but Webster simply wasn't interested. Then I got here last year and met Maddie. Webster's grin returned. Probably stay here for the rest of my life now. Yeah, well, trust me, there'll be no shortage of work, Belle said bitterly, thinking of her hated enemies. Well, not with Chuckles and Giggles keeping things in order, not to mention the Knights of the Last Order. We're big fans of them. Maddie said. Really? So am I. Belle smiled, secretly wondering how her new friends would react if they knew who she was. Speaking of which, her watch suddenly started flashing orange. Sir Lionheart was in trouble. Sorry, I have to go. Something came up. Belle quickly excused herself. She looked at her real watch. She had an hour to go until her next class. Plenty of time to sort out any of her regular foes. She stuffed her uni gear into her locker and then hid in an old shed and changed. Pretty soon, Giggles was out and about. Giggles crept up to the council building, where Demon was now holding hostages. Johannes was with him, laughing at how scared the councillors were. Psst! She heard someone hiss behind her. Chuckles, I thought you were in school, Giggles whispered. Well, it's lunchtime, so I thought I'd come and help. The others are kind of stuck, unfortunately, Chuckles replied. How is school, anyway? Yeah, pretty good. Giggles turned around. She saw Daniel standing next to a load of wood that was being used for an extension on the building. He'd been caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Come on, what are we waiting for? Why are we sitting here whispering if we can just go get him? Chuckles was ready to go. Because we don't know that if he has any more minions around. We don't want innocent people being... Oh, for the love of all that is good and just in this world, Chuckles! Giggles roared in anger as Chuckles ran out with the lion's claw blade ready to strike. Oh, Chuckles and Giggles. I thought you two would be at school or something, Demon frowned. Johannes, we're leaving. Well, you're joking, right? You're just going to get up and leave? Giggles looked at Demon, dumbfounded. Yup, replied Demon. You didn't bring any backup? Nope. You're just going to run away without a fight? Yep. Giggles could feel the familiar twinge of her eyes twitching. The smoke bomb went off and Demon was gone. I love being right. Chuckles came over and leaned on Giggles. How improbable was that? Funnily enough, the teachers believed him when he explained that the black eye had been a result of an unfortunate slip in the toilets. Well, the rest of the lectures were not quite as entertaining as the first one, but Belle still enjoyed them. She packed up her things and headed towards the school, where she'd walk home with the others. She got to the front gate of the school and was about to wait for her friends when she saw they'd already walked off. Hey, you snobs, wait for me! She ran to catch up with them. Hey, Belle, how was uni? Sammy asked excitedly. Really fun. I made some new friends already, Belle replied. She looked over at Sunny and Charlie, who were laughing. What's the joke? She asked. Yeah, they won't tell us, TJ frowned. You had to be in Metalworks to get it, Charlie snorted. Belle rolled her eyes. Anyway, how's Dan going? I hear you two saved his bacon, Petunia asked. Charlie was about to answer, but a warning glance from Belle silenced him. Well, it was fun, he said sheepishly. Again, thanks for listening to this recording, and if you want to go and read the rest of them, please head to chucklesandgiggles.com. Hope you all have a great day, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.